Good evening, everyone. Good evening and welcome to the Virtual Band Parade here on Ulster Bands Forum. Delighted to have you with us. It is Friday evening. We hope you are sitting comfortably because we have some wonderful music for you tonight as selected by Lisa. And the first clip, I'm sure many of you guessed it. I'm not even sure he's in to have heard it, but China can't complain tonight because that was East Belfast Protestant Boys playing Pirates of the Caribbean. So, quick. Oh, Pirates of the East. Well, it came from Pirates of the Caribbean. I was nearly right. So let's take a wee look at some of the text messages before they just, and some of them's already disappeared. Scott Clark says hello. Trevor Monaghan says good evening all. Kenny Dummigan says good evening from the home of our Larn, the home of Dummigan's Accordion. Davy Semple says hope to have a great night here in the house, having a few drinks, listening to some great music. I sincerely hope you're saying the same at the end of it, but I think you will be. Thomas Motion is listening in Fife in Scotland. William Smith's listening. Carl Porter is listening. I know Carl has been looking forward to it. Thomas Lowe is watching from Ayrshire. Hold on, and if my phone will be easier to see then. Jonathan Courtney is watching from Scotland. Mark Anderson says hello, everyone. Victoria Sheridan was wondering what the tune was called, so I've told you that already. Eddie says hope Roy's over his wee huff this week, Val. Are you all right tonight, Roy?
I'm grand. Still no Ballyhalbert though.
It must have been the bad week of the month. You know the way he gets, temperamental. Billy and Margaret Gilmore are watching in Port Glasgow. Sylvia Slane's watching in Cookstown. Davy Higgins watching. Did you see Shankill Protestant Boys? Was it last week we had them on? Was it Saturday or the Friday? Can't remember. Alice McKellar's watching from Edinburgh. Richard McNeil, my dogs are going nuts here. Richard McNeil is watching from Prestonpans and East Lothian. William Scott is watching from Cumber. William Callahan's watching. Good to see you, William, even with your bad news this evening. Philip Mackay is watching in Bangor. David Sheridan's watching. Carl wants to know, have we got Blues and Royals? Roy? Well, Roy isn't choosing tonight, Carl, I'm afraid. It's Lisa's night tonight. But on Roy, I know that Roy has promised on his first night that he's choosing that he will have that there. Matthew Wiley wants to know any Miller Memorial videos. Well, you're just going to have to watch and see, Matthew. I don't know. David Perry, Joel Jackson, Jim Elliott, William Fenton, Stuart Hamilton is here as well. And Anne Hindman says hello from Portrush. Ronnie is on the Black Bush. Oh my goodness, Ronnie. Davy Simple wants to know any Ballymochan tonight. Edward Fellows says evening all, another good night. Miles Conray is loving the tunes. Miles, wait to hear what we've lined up for you. Tails Sinclair is watching from Dover, as Lyndon Neely. Caesar is watching. Hi, you're getting to be a regular, Caesar. This is good. This is good. Oh, yes, and I cannot forget your daddy, Graham. So it was his birthday last week, and Caesar didn't happen to tell me. So happy birthday, Mr. Kenny. I hope that Caesar spoiled you something rotten because you deserve it putting up with him, I have to say. Danielle Lewis is watching, as is Terence James Fisher is watching from Detroit in Michigan. Welcome, delighted to have you, Terence. Hope you enjoy the music that we have on here. Don't know whether you've seen it before or not, but hope you enjoy it anyway. Rebecca and Jordan are watching. Eddie says, hopefully. Lisa likes Ballyhalbert. We'll find out whether she does or not.
Don't kid yourself, Eddie.
Andrew McConnell is watching. John Sullivan is watching. John King is watching from Oma. Jason Gibson wants to know any Oma Protestant Boys tonight. I couldn't tell. Gordon Carey is watching from Crumbray and Ayrshire. Andrew Roberts from East Belfast. Thomas McKeown is watching from Loyalist Larkhill in Scotland. China is alive and late. You've missed East Belfast Protestant Boys already. Very first tune on the show. I told you I'd be playing them 8 o'clock tonight, and there you go. Oh, Irvine McCabe says, can I say hello to my new friend, Carl? Well, I think you've just done it, Irvine. Eleanor Houston is watching from Stevenson and Motherwell, and John Kelly is watching from Glasgow. So I've caught up on all the text messages. I was really sharp off the go this evening. So we've got a kind of a sad start to our show this evening. And I didn't want it to go past without us marking it in some way. Of course, there would have been no parades this evening that we're aware of. And, you know, because kind of the outdoor parades were finished, and normally now we would be starting the indoor events. But we just wanted to take a wee moment and reflect on the horrible tragedy that happened this week in Ballymena when young Brooke McMaster perished in a house fire. I mean, it's just every parent's worst nightmare. And our thoughts are going out to the family and Brooke was very fond of Ballycraigie Sons of Ulster. She travelled in the bus and everything with them. Roy was personal friends with the family as well. And we just wanted to take a moment to mark that and to, you know, send our thoughts and prayers, and I'm sure on your behalf as well, your thoughts and prayers to the family. I know that Brooke's grandfather, Billy, is in Ballycraigie, so we just wanted to play a little clip of Ballycraigie, just as a, I don't even know what you would call it, just as a marker of respect to the family. So this is Ballycraigie Sons of Ulster playing at the Black Saturday Parade in 2020. Absolutely terrible news affecting the band community up there in Ballymena, Antrim area, but our thoughts are with them all. So let's move on. Someone had asked me a few minutes ago about Oma Protestant Boys. Who was that? Jason. Well, you don't have to wait too much into suspense, Jason, because the very first band that Lisa has picked this evening are, of course, the Prod Boys. This is the Oma ones, not the East Belfast ones, playing at the Belfast 12th in 2018. Absolutely brilliant there from Oh My Protestant Boys. Excellent clip and or choosing, Lisa. And if that is the standard that you're going to maintain the whole night, well, we are in for an absolutely cracking night. Let's have a few more reads of of some of your comments coming through. Let me just scroll back a little bit to where I was. So I think the last one I read out was, my goodness, there's so many comments. Oh, it's gone back as far as it can. So Roy Fisher says, hello, Valerie and Roy. Cheryl Grice Sloan says, hello from Greece. Cheryl and Guy, were you not just away somewhere else? Or am I thinking of a different Cheryl? Maybe I'm thinking of a different Cheryl. But what are you doing watching Ulster bands for when you're in Greece, you mad thing? Ian is watching from Londonderry, and he says hello to Bubbles. I don't know whether Bubbles online or not. Ian and Ahari. China is slagging Lisa because he says that they didn't show East Belfast. You just want to get seen yourself, China. That's all it is, you little poser. David Bradley is watching in Bushmills. Lots of comments about the sad bereavement there, and I'll go through a thought on that there after a while. I just don't want to offend anyone. Clive Hylands has joined. Matt Morris Ward. Morris, your photographs on Facebook are absolutely stunning. Neil Glass has joined, and of course it's only a couple of weeks until Neil ties the knot with his good lady. We can't wait to see photographs of it, Neil. Davia Pritchard has joined. Jennifer McAllister says evening all from Craigenee. Tad Adamson has said hello. Gavin Hazlitt says it puts everything into perspective. It absolutely does. Let me see. Aine McKee is watching. Hiya, Aine. Gillian Douglas says that it was one of Jensen's favourite tunes there by the Prod Boys. Tad Adams says some of that outfit. Carl is very proud of the band. China wants to know, why is those silly men turning around? Are they going the wrong way? China, they can multitask. They can do more than one thing once. And there's Girl Floss in it as well, and they are superb. Bob Purvis is loving this extra measure from the Green Herds and Flip Pair. Delighted to have you on, Bob. Hope you enjoy our music here, and I know that you'll find it all of a very high standard. Andy McMaster is Huller Fate Perth, Western Australia. Oh, I think that's meant to be hello. Andy, great to have you with us. Lovely to have you on board. I hope you enjoy our music as well. Roy Patterson loves his mask. He got it off China. Davy Logan loved those turns in the mask. William Callahan says it's pure class. China says we're now selling hoods to match. I know the type of masks that China sells. Joe King said that
it's hoods that's selling them.
Well, that's true. That's true. Carl Barr has joined. John Hewitt's watching from Liverpool. Evening all, just come on in. Sean Blair's joined. Ian McManus says that we toured was outstanding. Adrian McElvena has joined. Stuart Garrett's in from Shankill Road. Robert Wilson is on from Cookstown. He's home to see John Convis. Miles Connery says he's having a cup of heart beer, chilling out with his fiancée Jade. Cheers. Billy Thompson is watching from Malile Song. Tad Adams says, don't tell everyone at work I'm watching this show. Senior Glenn says, evening all, give us a bit of Pride of Ballybean, please. Laura McConnell's John. Muriel Quinn's on. Neil Glass says he's hoping to go live from the wedding reception. I sincerely hope you are. Keith Fordyce says, hello from Paisley. Drew Park says, say hello to all the MacArthurs from Glasgow. Eddie Tony says, it's his birthday. Can we have a wee bit of Ballyhalbert? It's not up to me tonight. It's not up to Roy tonight. The only person that you have to be sweet with tonight and to please is Lisa. Going on to her next clip and keeping up the great roll of tunes so far. Her next choice is Best Book True Blues, and this is them at their own parade in July 2017. Isn't that wee guy a star? Absolute star. I know that's 3 years ago, but absolute star. And fair play to the band, because many another band would have put him in at the back and kept the adults out the front, but they have him out the front, proud of the place, and absolutely brilliant drummer. It's things like that that encourage kids into the band. Absolutely fantastic. Ian Henry is watching from Corby. John China. John China has typed, hate girls in flute bands, brings it down to all-time level. I'll correct that for you, China. I think what you meant to state is brings it up to an all-time level. Because if I see you and you come out with more comments like that there, I'm going to kick your butt, China. Saying things like that. How dare you? Some of the best flutists I know are female. My goodness. Jason Gibson says, typical China. Quite right you are, my dear. John China says it'll take some hood to cover. Is that my loaf or his loaf? Shirley wants to know, is this stolen gin again? No, this is one I bought myself. Though your stolen one is still...
No, she's actually drank all the stolen gin, is what she's meaning to say. She actually said to me, before we come on air the night, she says, I ran out of gin. I had to actually go and buy this. She actually had to go and buy her own for a change rather than stealing other people.
I know. Could you shop for more tomorrow, please, Shirley? And call on the way by. It was absolutely stunning. It was, what was it? Passion fruit and orange. Oh, beautiful. Highly recommend it. Stuart Garrett wants to know, can we give us a bit of the White Rock, my old band? Billy Thompson, Alec from Malile as well are both watching. Robert Wilkinson says, Denise, go to bed a bit late for you. Well, obviously that's towards our good friend Denise and our absolutely queen, Miss Amy, who are both watching. Muriel says, we toting the drum. I know, I just wish I could have got Mason convinced until I got there. Jean Kerr says, great wee drummer in the front. Chrissy Cunningham says, good evening, Valerie and Roy from a cold Glasgow. Oh, it's cold everywhere, isn't it? We've got the heating on now for the first time for a while. Mark Anderson says there, the wee lead drummer is first class. David Sherton, outstanding from the wee man. China says, if it was him, he would play Ballyhalbert. Followers of the Rangers, great band. You're being nice there. You're not giving abuse. There's something wrong with them. We mustn't be well. Gillian Douglas is there, the band of the future. Love to see it. Absolutely. Philip Mackay says he loves watching the wee man when he's out with the brook. Absolutely brilliant. Good evening, everyone, says Joanne Berkeley. Bob Purvis says, wow, that young one was brilliant. What a lead tip. Better than anything I ever had. Wasn't he fantastic, Bob? Absolutely brilliant. Superb, says Craig Jameson. Adrian Brody says hi from Armadale in Scotland. Jonathan Corson wants to know any Cormain tonight. I don't know. I just ran my eye very quickly down Lisa's list. I noticed that there's some crackers on it, and so far she hasn't put a foot wrong so far, and hopefully will continue through this evening. Now, I just wanted to comment on something, and I don't mean this in a bad way at all. I noticed some people were writing RIP. Okay, now RIP is not for Protestants to use, and I totally get that you guys all wrote it with the best intentions. And funny, I happened to notice it last week as well when we were talking about a couple of deaths that had affected the community. We shouldn't use RIP. RIP is the abbreviation of Requiescat in Pace, which is the Latin for rest in peace. So as Protestants, we believe that your actions throughout life determine if you're going up, above, or down below. You don't get to, people making donations to your church on your death and all those kind of things do not buy your way into heaven. And rest in peace is that's why Luther and all those guys, they put they nailed their theses to the door, because what ended up happening was it was being used as a way. All the rich people were buying their way into heaven because they were giving loads of money to the church so that their relatives could rest in peace. So we're not meant to use it as Protestants, because we believe that it's your actions on earth which determine whether you go to heaven or to hell. Okay, so wee bit of information for you. It's just a wee bugbear of mine. And I have to say, I was sitting one day in the Apprentice Boys Memorial Hall in Londonderry, and a guy sitting in the seat in front of me with a Rangers top on with RIP tattooed on the back of his neck. I couldn't believe it. And of course, I couldn't also hold my tongue. And he didn't even know. I mean, he just... that astounds me. So try not to use rest in peace because they sleep with angels or our thoughts are with you and all that kind of stuff. And I totally get the sentiment behind it, but I don't think enough Protestants are aware of the actual meaning in it. But it's definitely not for a Protestant. That's for sure. Okay, so just you'll never forget. Now, off my soapbox. Didn't mean to go on that one, but I just noticed it tonight again, and I noticed it last week, but sorry for that. So we're going to accordion bands now. Lisa, she looks to be picking well again. This is Pride of the Birches accordion band at their own parade in 2019. I hope you were all yo-hoing in the appropriate places. Let's have a look at a few more comments. Denise says, tell Robert I know where he lives. You're in trouble now, Robert. You are absolutely in trouble now. Jeanette Irving says, give us some White Rock. Jeanette, you would have loved it last week. We had a sound quiz and White Rock were in it 3 times and everyone had to try and guess, was it White Rock, Ballyhalbert or Netherton Road? Not many people got them all right, I have to say. We're not saying whether that proves Roy right or not.
Proves me 110%, oh, you can't do 100% right. That people didn't know, and plus Lisa that quiz out, so other people would have seen the answers, so they would have been taking it from it previously and everything else, and they still couldn't get it. And White Rock, Netherton Road, County, all the same thing.
I think they all just guessed them wrong to make you feel good. That's what it was. Amy says that she is waiting on the UVF band because Lisa loves them. Stephen Stafford says, Margaret, you're to go and get him another drink. So if you haven't already done it, go now. Just tell him I, Stephen, just how on to eat this loaf. Michael Burns says, hi from Port of Ogie. Lisa says, there are no Kilkeel tonight. None at all, Lisa. Oh, I'm going to have to be scanned down through your list. Robert Wilkinson says, hope everyone sees Denise comment, I'm in danger. Well, we have it on here, Robert. There's proof now. So if anything happens to you over the next week, we know whose door to knock. Let me just see. Few of you agreeing with me and the RIP thing. Gillian Douglas Ray. John China says in the candles. Well, I don't have any candles about the house. David Semple, yeah, I've got your wee message there. We absolutely will. David Perry says 100%. Ian Bailey is watching in Dundee. I couldn't say that there for a second. Robert Wilkinson says he agrees in the rest of the piece, as does Edward Fellows. Penny Johnson says very interesting. Did you not know that, Penny? I've always known that. It's why I never, ever, ever use it. Danielle Lewis says, any of my tunes. Danielle, I can't remember what your tunes were, dear. There's just so many comments. But I do have to say that any comments that you put on tonight or any bands requested tonight won't be included in tonight's show, because obviously we have to do prep for them, so they're pre-prepared. So if you're requesting something tonight, it will be another week that it gets played. Roy Patterson, same, he never used it as well. Sylvia Slane agrees. Davy Semple. David, did you not know that neither? My goodness. Victoria Sharon says, Dave says that if crackers are being played tonight, must mean Shanklewood Defenders are on tonight. Now, Shanklewood Defenders were on last week. Dave, you can't have everything. China says to get off my high horse. My wee horse was never that high. I used to have a horse when I was a kid. It was not high by any means, but it was a joke. Mervyn Finley says hello.
1905, 1904, then when you ever had a horse?
Well, you were in primary school or secondary school at that stage, so I'm sure
you had left school by that stage.
Mervyn Finley says hello from lockdown Londonderry. Yes, tightening up there. I guarantee you the most outbreaks are right around all the GAA clubs and...
Well, it all fits that way when you look at it. Londonderry, Strabane, Newry,
yep.
Kilkeel.
What were they all at an event early July together? Let me see. Izzy McLean totally agrees with me. Of course. You know, like everyone agrees with me, Izzy. I mean, what other option is there? Eddie Tony says he has every faith in Lisa tonight. Oh, good, Eddie. Good man. Gordon Corbett says you were quite right, Valerie, about RIP. It's Romanist. Protestants should never use it. Gordon, in the post is a little parcel for you, so hopefully you'll get it over the next couple of days. Roy Patterson wants a little bit of Black Skull Glasgow. Eleanor Houston loved the accordion. Get Kilkeel TV on, 4 of them watching, says China. Victoria Sheridan says that David is gutted. Danielle Lewis, what about Pride of the Hill, West Island, Lisa? Maybe another week, Danielle. I don't know whether I don't think they're on. Plus, we had them on last week as well. Davy Logan thought there that Pride of the Birch is a fantastic playing band. Kenny Dummigan says there's absolutely nothing to beat the accordion. You're right. Absolutely right. So let's move on to your next band. I know that the next band...
The flutes, the lambegs, the bagpipes, the triangle, the cymbals, they all beat the accordion.
In your dreams. Let's go on to the next band, because I know this one is going to be really, really popular. This is Ulster Grenadiers, and they're playing at the South Belfast Young Conquerors Parade in 2011. And apparently this little tune is called The Gurkhas. That's the only Kilkeel band that you're going to see on the night. Roy pointed it out. It's a Kilkeel band that's passing Carrickfergus Defenders. That's as close as you get tonight, folks. What Lisa is doing tonight, to save me scrolling through hundreds of comments after every show, if someone requests a band tonight, Lisa is noting it down so that we can include them in a future show. However, tomorrow night, we have a very special show lined up for you. Tomorrow night, we are going to do military bands of all types and descriptions, flutes, orchestras, everything. It's going to be absolutely cracking tomorrow night. Some brilliant music ahead of us tomorrow night. And of course, still more brilliant music at night to come tonight. So Lisa is noting down all of these. It's absolutely good. Mark Graham says, Valerie, it's darn good to hear you speaking about Protestants using RIP. I had a pretty heated debate a week or so ago with some folks on a PUL page. It was astonishing the garbage they were coming out with regards to RIP, and said I was living in the dark ages. Well, the thing about it is, you're not, because I mean, it's the fundamentals of Protestantism. It's, you know, it's one of the reasons that Martin Luther went, you know, did his whole thesis and all that kind of stuff, because, you know, it was just being used as a power racket. It was being used as a money racket. You know, it was used as a way of bribing yourself into heaven and all this kind of stuff. Complete nonsense. You know, so, I mean, you're not living in the dark ages. What you're doing is, you know, by not believing in that gumph, you know, you're you're maintaining the principles of Protestantism, which is kind of what we're all about. You know, and it's same as the same idea as confession. The idea that IRA men can go into a confession booth and confess their sins and be told today, say 5 Hail Marys, and that's it. Then their sins don't count. Just doesn't make sense. You know, what you do in this life will come back to haunt you in the next. I firmly believe that. And I mean, that's what Protestants believe. We don't believe that, you know, going to a priest will absolve you of your sins now while you're still living. So, you know, it's absolutely not, it's not in the dark ages. And to be honest, it's more a lack of education and knowledge on their behalf than it is anything else. And I'm surprised that it was going on a PUL page and that you didn't have a little more back in there, Mark. We should have been there. You should let us know. Tag us in the next time. We'll come on and defend you. Let me see. Scrolling down through. Eddie and Chen are still muttering on about Ballyhalbert. Jason Gibson says, with it being the 2nd of October, have we any Freeman Memorial tonight? We did dither about playing Freeman tonight because it is the 2nd of October, but what we thought we would do is we would keep it until tomorrow night, because they would normally have had their parade on the Saturday, so we're going to keep it to the day of their parade as always. Bob Purvis says he didn't know that about RIP. It should now refrain from using it and educate my fellow comrades. Not a problem, Bob. Just glad that you learned something. Education and music. What more could you ask for on this show? And a little bit of superb music is now coming up with Macklemore and Silver Band. This is them playing at East Antrim BB Parade in 2019. We've had a couple of good clips from this parade, and even if it's one that we've seen before, it's definitely worth watching again. Super there. Lovely to get the full tune, almost the full tune, on the silver band there. Absolutely brilliant. Love hearing them. Absolutely love hearing them. Now, let's get a few more comments. Gordon Carey says, Valerie, can you pass on my best wishes to Edward Fellows from Runcorn in Liverpool? I think I've just done that, Gordon. Jean Kerr wants to know, any Liz Below accordion on, Lisa? It's a while from it was on. June Kramer says, hi, Valerie. Hiya, June. Daphne Moore says, hardly have any of Cornafanag. Cornafanag? Did I say that right? I don't think there's on tonight, but we'll definitely look to see. Provided of the PUL community, obviously. There'll be no more tricking me with that. Jimmy McManus says, evening all from Bangor. Edward says, evening, Mr. Carey, and says, when has Runcorn been in Liverpool? I've an aunt that used to live in Runcorn, didn't I? I think I did. Alistair Nett says, hello, Valerie. Another Friday night of good music and good company. No surrender. Glad to have you along, Alistair. Hope you all, enjoy it. Gordon is waiting on it's the books, Gordon. It's the books. I'm not leaving suspense. John China says, play the Gert for a laugh. Jav Salim says, we are the people. I have this odd feeling that Jav Salim isn't in a flip band. Not sure. Jensen wants to know if he's on tonight. The guys are discussing it, so I'm not sure what's going to happen in the background there. Karen Maiden says roll on the next parade. Exactly, Karen. But when is that going to be? I do not know when it's going to be, and that is really worrisome. Are we going to have parades even next year? Like, been so good all of this year, so we've stayed home, we've stayed inside. Are we going to have any next year? Can you imagine not having any 12th for 2 years in a row? That would be horrendous. But you know, we've got to stay safe.
That means we would hit probably our 200th show. Or our 50th show. Longest running parade saga ever.
Yeah, exactly. Now, what Lisa is saying is that she's replying to a lot of you there who are commenting about the fact that Not Tonight tried to stick to predominantly small Blood and Thunder. So what the guys and myself and the guest pickers usually do is we'll try and get a theme for tonight. So every so often the guys will try and do a theme where it's bands that we maybe haven't played just as often. There'll be some bands that we play because we're getting our heads knocked off about, by playing them all virtually every week, the like Belfast Protestant Boys and people like that there. And then there's other bands who don't get requested as much, but we try and give everyone a little bit of airplay here. So that's what the guys have done, or that's what Lisa has done this evening. She's tried to go for bands that maybe aren't on as often as they should be. So we're hopefully redressing that balance. And one of those bands is the next one. Superb band. And it's just so hard. There are so many fantastic clips of bands out there, so having the theme for a program kind of gives us a focus of which ones to pick and which ones not to pick, because you would be on here 365 days a year just playing band clips because there's so many good ones. But the next one are one that we probably should have on more than we do. Unfortunately, at times it ends to be whoever shouts loudest gets heard the most. But Pride of Ballymacash are a superb band, and this is them en route to Lisburn to join the main Somme commemoration parade in 2017. Short and sweet, that one. I didn't even get, I was typing a message, didn't even get finishing it. So next up, let's see if I can read through a few more of these text messages. They just keep coming in thick and fast. Let me see. Trevor William Monaghan says, what about a wee bit of Woolly Drennan some night? Edward Fellows says, my family used Safe in his arms. That's not too bad. China says he went to a minister and he squealed on me. Oh my goodness. Penny Johnson said that Macklemore and Silver were a great band, but a horrible tune. I didn't mind that one, actually. Gavin Haslett, the first Saturday in October would have been the annual Campsie Day Parade in Londonderry, initiation day of the Campsie Club ABOD. Always a great day. Yes, absolutely is. Lisa always keeps me right in terms of what parades it would have been on the particular night so that we can make sure that we include them. So I'm sure she probably has that one on her list already. We'll know tomorrow night, but look at. Muriel says, with RIP, you're praying for their souls after they're dead. It's too late then. Absolutely. And my aunt lived in Runcorn in Cheshire. Is that the same Runcorn? I don't know. Stephen Stafford says, good evening, Ronnie Lawrenson, who is watching from Ottawa. Lovely to have you on board, Ronnie. Hopefully you're enjoying the music, and hopefully all the people from beyond the shores here in Northern Ireland and Scotland who maybe aren't just as used to the marching bands as the rest of us can see why we get so excited about them and can see why we enjoy them so much. What you have to remember is all of these musicians that you're watching are completely voluntary. All of them are self-taught. For a vast majority of the Blood and Thunder flute bands, they're taught by someone else in the band, and they take the time and the dedication to bring these learners on to a high standard that you can see from what they're doing. Sometimes in the silver bands and the accordion bands, you might have a little bit of music knowledge and experience through piano or whatever, but the Blood and Thunder are all self-taught musicians, and they take the time and the dedication out of it to do this here. And the other thing to consider is these guys are parading 9 out of the 12 months of the year, and they are doing it all at their own cost. And the uniforms that they wear, they bought them themselves. They fundraise it for themselves. The instruments, they fundraise it and bought those all themselves. So this is a totally voluntary organization and totally voluntary sector. And I, for one, don't think it's recognized enough. And I don't think the dedication and the passion and the financial output that they do as well is recognized enough. It just really isn't. And it always astounds me at how generous they are when it comes to giving towards charities as well. And there's such a bad name, and it's just totally unjustified. Like every large sector, do we have bad apples? Probably, but everybody does, and it's not fair to whitewash the rest of the sector with that. Like you just have to consider it in a completely different way. Sorry. Soapbox night tonight, obviously. Sturdy Bradshaw wants to know, are any bands doing anything for Remembrance Sunday? It's a tough one, Sturdy. I have seen a thing going about on Facebook that, we were able to go out every Thursday night and clap for the nurses and all that. So if the Remembrance parades are, I'm sure that there probably will be Remembrance services about and they'll be socially distancing, but, why could we not go out on our doorsteps on Remembrance Sunday at 11 o'clock and give a round of applause? I think that's a pretty good idea. Shouldn't take too much effort. Billy McDonald says, a lot of people haven't stayed in and that's what's wrong. You're right. Stay in so we can get our parades back again. Trevor Davidson wants to know, have you any of George Dummigan Accordion Band from Larne? I don't know if it's on the list tonight, Trevor, but I'll tell you who is on. On our viewers tonight is one of the Dummigans themselves from Larne. Lee McCann says, good evening, watching from Aberdeen. Eddie Torney says Ballyhalbert aren't on as much as they should be. Eddie, Ballyhalbert are nearly on as much as these Belfast Protestant boys. Bob Purvis said, just to let you know some history of my regiment, we were formed in 1688 to fight alongside King William of Orange, and we were one of the first regiments in the British Army to use the flute or fife as you know it. Oh, excellent. Remind me what your regiment is again, Bob, because it was quite a few messages ago. My apologies for not remembering. That's really interesting to know. We'll try and get some of your regimental band in our Marching Military Bands show tomorrow night. Mark Anderson says, home in the range. is the name of that song, Mark, not Home on the Range. Hard to beat under a tight wee bridge. David Parrish says we should get the Star of Macara down on. Now, we absolutely will, but our next band up is a wonderful part music band. We've had them on a few times, and I know that everyone has enjoyed having them on. Again, a lot of them are self-taught. Some of them have maybe done the silver flute at school, but they're putting all their music knowledge to use within Kelswater Flute Band, and this is them playing in Scarva in 2014. Superb there from Kelswater. Absolutely brilliant. Great sound from the flutes there, especially the more treble and bass flutes towards the back. I have to say, I've never seen a part music flute band bass drummer so enthusiastic. He's walking about that road there just as if he was a blood and thunder drummer, just waving about. Great to see. Billy McDonald says, as part of my rant, it came up totally violent organisation. The subtitles just cannot cope with my accent whatsoever. So I hope that all our overseas watchers can understand me because the subtitles cannot. So that's ignore that subtitle, that's for sure. Edward Fellows says, he said it before, if we get paid, we'd take sick days. Absolutely. I mean, there's over 30,000 people in bands in Northern Ireland alone, never mind the ones in Scotland, never mind the ones in England. And, you know, like that's 30,000 people making music. It's just astounding when you think about it. David Sheridan says that fingers crossed, the Shankill Road Defenders are going to be on the Shankill on Remembrance Day. Absolutely. And China has made a very useful comment for a change. He says, just want to thank everyone with our East Belfast Protestant Boys Lodge appeal. We got over our banner and the lodge over the target, and the lodge will now get a new banner, which is what the fundraising was for. We also got mentioned in the Orange Standard for the first time. So thanks to all that gave. And he says, play Ballyhalbert Friday. Not tonight, boys, not tonight. Sturdy Bradstraw says that Upper Falls Protestant Boys are planning to walk in Suffolk. Karen Means thought that Kelswater were a brilliant band. Trevor, what about a bit of Trevor William Monaghan Lambeg drumming some night? We'll have to get Roy to look out a clip of you, Trevor. We absolutely will. Carl Port says, fantastic bit of drumming there from Kelswater. Classy performance of the adjutant, says Glenn, Made to Parade. And I want to give another shout out to his book. If you haven't already got the book Made to Parade, absolutely scoot yourself onto Amazon. There's actually a special offer at the minute where you can get it for a special price for your Kindle. But if you haven't got it, get it, because it's a fantastic read. It will absolutely just ring bells with you the whole way through, where he talks about, his first parade with the band, his first band practice, all that kind of stuff. It just is. It's just your story on paper, and everyone will absolutely connect to it. It's such a fantastic book. So get on there. He's one of our own. He's shown the positives of marching bands. Get on there and get it bought and give him support. And if you have got it and you have read it, jump onto Amazon and give him a positive review as well, because that encourages more people to buy it. Is that okay, Glenn? You can give me the tenner later. Jean Kerr says, wonder, does he mean the Royal Enniskillen Fusiliers who were formed around that time? No, Bob says it was the Green Howards Regiment 19th Foot. I have a lot of friends over in Ulster, and hello to you all. Wonderful. Glenn says he needs a bass drum cam to see where he was going. He managed the very best. He was doing great. Cliff Moffat is watching from Old Trafford. Enjoying the fantastic bands tonight. Look at that rag he has on. Absolutely disgusting.
Much better than the rag you were wearing last week. Why didn't I speak to you?
Class, Liverpool shirt. Adrian McAvenna has joined. Robert Crothers says, come on, put the Pilgrims on. China's right. Listen, come here to tell you. If we had listened to China and Eddie, we would have nothing but East Belfast Protestant Boys and Ballyhalbert. They're not getting played tonight.
If we had a pound for every time we played them, we'd be rich.
We would indeed. Edward says, Bob, the Cheshires and the Caledonias were also formed to fight alongside William. Absolutely. I just love all this history. It's fantastic. Eddie Tony says, what about a wee clip of Donaghafity Fife and Drum Club? Maybe. The tenors in the post from Glenn. That's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. I'll buy me another bottle of gin tomorrow. Now, our next band coming up, another great band. And again, I seem to be saying this for all of the bands tonight. We don't play them often enough. It is, of course, Sons of Ulster Schenkel, and this is them playing at the Brian Robinson Parade in 2017. trying to write down the birthdays here as quickly as I can. Remember, if it is your birthday, let us know. Don't be shy about it. Like we want to shout out and celebrate your birthday. If it is your sons, daughters, grannies, grandas, mothers, fathers, best friends, neighbours, dogs, wives, just let us know. We'll give you all a shout out absolutely to do it. Let me see, have I got that one? Oh, yes, I think I've got the ball. So post your comments in here and we will be delighted to give you a birthday shout out later on the show. Now, we have a special little clip from a special little man. Have you got it ready to run, Roy, or we'll go through a few texts to give you a second? This is a special message to you all from our Jensen.
Very much. Thank you very much.
That's our Jensen. Absolutely brilliant. And he is a superb little drum major. Can't wait to see you back in action, Jensen. I am sure you are going to be fantastic. That is so brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. John McCann is watching from Melbourne. John, I am guessing by your profile pic there that you're originally from Northern Ireland, but regardless, lovely to have you watching with us this evening. Billy King said that was wee Dawson carrying the wreath there in front of Sons of Ulster Shankill. I thought that, Billy, but I wasn't 100% sure, but yeah, glad you confirmed that for me. Penny says a suggestion for a possible theme night. It shouldn't happen to a musician. She's a clip of someone falling off the back of the stage with an accordion on. I know the clip you're referring to, Penny. I know that there's also clips about the country somewhere where, like bass drummers have not seen the traffic bollards and end up falling over those there as well. I don't know that we have enough of those types of clips to do a full show, but it's definitely a good idea. Absolutely. A couple of other birthdays coming in there. Keep them coming. Muriel says there are no bad bands, just some are better than others. All bands played well. That's the line to take with it. All bands played well. Tennis is summer crap. Jason Gibson wants to know, were all drummers in Belfast taught by the same man or woman? As all Blood and Thunder or drum corps sound the exact same? I have to admit, I prefer a little bit of originality. I like something a little bit different. I know it is a real compliment to a band for you to copy their style. And I know, that you are playing them a compliment because you're saying you think they're that good that you want to be the same as them. But have a little bit of originality. It makes it more interesting for us at the side of the road to watch. I can remember one night going, it was when Penny Arcade first became really popular as a tune. And I can remember watching about 7 bands in a row, one after the other, all playing Penny Arcade to the extent that I absolutely hate it now being played. But, put something different in it, give it a little bit of twist, go back to our traditional tunes as well. There's so many of those that are being lost over time because bands are, dropping them from their repertoire. Give them a different lift. The one band that are always brilliant for doing that are the Gertrude Star. They are fantastic at taking those old Protestant orange tunes and just giving them a lovely wee kick and bringing them right bang up to date. So always try and strive for something a little bit different. I think it's always a good thing. Let me see. Gordon Hotchkiss is on with us. Hiya, Gordon. Hope things are going well. Jason O'Neill wants to know, have we any archive from Pride of the Village Malile? Not on tonight, Jason. We may have it somewhere. Thank you to Gordon Corbett. Thanks to Gordon Corbett, I have a whole range of hundreds of DVDs and CDs here. They could be on some of them. I just haven't got going through them all because I'm waiting on my office being finished because I'm converting the garage into an office, and then all of this stuff and my video players and all that kind of stuff is all gone out into my new office, and then I will be able to work to my heart's content on all these DVDs and videos. But let's move on for another little bit of music. One of the biggest losses to the scene were when this particular band folded, and I do know that they have, I think they have folded.
You do that again.
I'm doubting myself now. Yes, I'm almost sure they have.
It's not Lisbon Young Defenders, so we're all right.
I'm almost sure they have. Sons of Ulster Glasgow. I'm almost sure they've folded. But it was I can't even say it was a huge thing or a huge loss because they haven't folded that. Oh no, well, you know what I mean. This is them playing. It's off their DVD. It's the King William's hornpipe. Somebody confirm for me. They have folded. I'm fairly certain they have. Perfect example there of one of our historical tunes, King William's hornpipe, and just brought bang up to date and works really, really well. Absolutely superb. And yes, thankfully, I'm not putting another band off the road. They have indeed folded, which is such a pity, such a waste. Superb band. Absolutely brilliant. Cliff Moffat says a big shout out to Stuart Moffat, the big bass drummer with Southdown Defenders Newry, and his wife Emma Jane, who's an accordionist with Donaghmore Accordion Band, who celebrate their 16th wedding anniversary this week. Congratulations to you both, and both in bands, which is just exactly what I like to see. Brilliant. There's nothing worse than a fella taking up with a girl and leaving the band, or a girl taking up with a fella and leaving the band. Stick the band out. Keep the bands before the boyfriends, girlfriends. Get them involved too. Made to Parade says, get the Gert playing Lincoln and Liberty. I absolutely love it. I first heard it when we played a clip of it on this here. The first clip of it I played, there was a little bit of variation in tempo, which just ruined it for me. But then I found another clip of the same tune. I think it was in Bangor, and it was superb. Absolutely brilliant. China obviously doesn't like me saying anything good about the Gert because he's told me to wash my mouth out. John Sullivan wants to know, can we have some of the vets on one week, please? Yes, we absolutely can. I know Lisa will note that down for us. And we've had them on a couple of times before, but never too many times. Ronnie says, happy birthday to our granddaughter, Jane Cairns in Claudy. We'll get that included in our birthday things as well. Drew Park said, well said about our traditional tunes. Proud of Knockmore, tried to bring them back. Yes, confirming just that Sons of Ulster Glasgow have folded. Let me see. Oh, Lindsay Dunbar says, typical, I missed Donaghadee. Well, you should have been here. You should have been here. It's as simple as that. Alex Williams says, agrees with me, quality band. He's sad they're not going anymore. Absolutely, really, really sad. Now, let me see. Very much missed on the scene. That's Sons of Ulster Glasgow. Robert Morrison, I'll have to get a note of that there as well. Neil Glass said that they were excellent. China says his wife wears a hairband. Honest to goodness. You're right to the moon.
Can we just ask Billy McDonald what time it is?
Yes, he says, I thought we weren't going to mention you putting bands off the road. So earlier on, about 7:15 or 7:30, Billy McDonald messaged us and says, like, well, what's happening? What's happening? Roy replied, we're going to be back on the air. I will be on the air at 8 o'clock as normal. And I went, oh, I thought this was after 8. So he said he would make me, I said he had too much drink. He said he would make me a deal that if I didn't mention him being late, he wouldn't mention me putting bands off the road. So you mentioned it first, Billy, not me. Jason O'Neill wants to know, was I too young to remember the Sharpshooters East Belfast? I was, Jason, much, much too young. They were off the road before I was born.
Jason, Valerie actually remembers. No, she'd done all her stints in the band. She remembers the Sharpshooters. I can't even speak. Foreman. She can remember being there at the side of the road and cheering them on and everything else. She can remember them folding. She can even remember things. She can even remember Craigie Warren being formed back in 1912. So, no, she's not too young to remember things like that.
Don't you listen to him, Jason? It's just jealous of my young and youthful looks. That's all it is. Sharpshooters wear some outfits, says Glenn Montgomery. Yes, I do. We have had some fantastic clips, Jason, of Sharpshooters East Belfast on the show. And another excellent band coming up now. This is Defenders of the Rock Lisbon, playing at the Gertrude Star Parade in 2015. Superb there from Defenders of the Rock. Glenn Montgomery says that is Big Roy Carroll's band, of course, Northern Ireland, former footballer there. David Perry says up the UYL of Castlewellan. Yes, we've had some clips of the Ulster Young Loyalists on previously on the show. Absolutely superb. Really, really good to see. And I'm sure next time we have an oldies night, we'll probably make an appearance again. Stuart Bradshaw says, I hope Defenders of the Rockless got sorted out and are back up and running. A great wee band. I didn't know they had been struggling, Stuart, and hopefully they are. And if you're out around the area in Lisbon and you can play a flute, or even if you can't, get along and help them out. Jason Gibson says that bass drummer is going to give himself an injury at that crack. I wasn't watching Jason. I was writing stuff down. What was he? Was he being very enthusiastic? I have to admit, you know, like all the bouncing about the road and all the banging, you know, like all the arms and the bloody knuckles and all that, it does nothing for me, because the best clip that I have ever seen of a bass drummer makes it look like he's just tickling the thing. Absolutely fantastic. And it's been ages since I've seen it, so I'm going to have to give my favorite clip of Greengar's Thistle playing Anzac another run sometime, because it is just superb. It is a masterclass in bass drum. Gillian McFarlane says to give Jim Elliott in Tempo a big wave. He's your biggest fan. Hi, Jim. You don't know many people, and if you're our biggest fan, or you're a fan of, you don't know many people. God love you. Lindsay Dunbar says, was that the youngest son's football solely in Valerie? Sure, put Donaghadee back on tomorrow night again. We're never on. Lindsay, if you can't organize your social life around this, really, tomorrow night definitely won't be on. Tomorrow night is military bands. I'm so looking forward to it. Absolutely. Just all different types of military bands. Really looking forward to it. And it's not all going to be silver and brass, so don't panic, okay? Our next accordion band, our second accordion band of tonight, my goodness, it feels like ages since we had an accordion band on, are the Parkinson Accordion Band. And this is them playing at Pride of the Shores Parade in 2019. Great to have a little bit of accordion back in the show again. I don't know what we're going to do tomorrow night. If anybody knows of any military bands who play accordions, let us know, because we could be struggling for accordion bands.
Don't message in.
Yes, do. William Callaghan says that the clip of Greengar's Thistle is his favourite clip. And do you know the really annoying thing about it is they're not even playing their own bass drum. They're playing Donna Money's bass drum. So I've had some people actually saying, oh, I really love that clip of Donna Money. It's not Donna Money, it's Greengar's Thistle. Just borrowed their drum, obviously. Anne Hyman says hello to Irene Brown from Ronnie in Portrush. Stuarty says that Defenders of the Rock were a bit like Upper Falls and had a little blip. Well, hopefully they're over that. Absolutely. Drum cat the back. Oh, drums at the back. Edward Fellows is saying drums at the back. Yes, absolutely. Billy McDonald says, did that side drum sound funny? I don't know. I had to leave the desk.
Yeah, you see, when every time you don't see it in the background, but every time an accordion band comes on, Valerie disappears. She doesn't actually
That's
sit
not
and
true.
listen to it. She
That's
runs
not
off
true.
and doesn't listen to it. So when she comes back, goes, "Oh, that's a great," and doesn't even listen to the clip.
It was not at all. I caught the tail end of it. I had to run to the loo, okay? I didn't want to say it out loud, but I had to run to the loo.
Well, you must have to run to the loo every time an accordion band is played because you don't sit there and listen to it.
It's so that's so untrue. So untrue. Ballyhalbert, a military accordion, says Eddie. My goodness, Eddie, you're trying absolutely everything to get Ballyhalbert on the show. Not going to work tonight, not going to work. So one of the next bands that we have are the band that was formed for a very short period of time. It is the Billy Boys, and this is them playing at the Belfast County Junior Parade on Easter Tuesday. Absolutely brilliant there. Though Eddie tells me they are still going, or Roy tells me that they are still going.
Yeah, they played around Rascal on the 13th.
Oh no. Do you know who I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of the Six Counties.
Six Counties.
Six Counties was the
Military band.
was the military band, yes, of course. Maybe get a little touch of them on tomorrow night. But it's close enough. It's a close enough link, absolutely is. So we'll get a little bit of them on tomorrow night. Now, we haven't had any pipes in the show as yet, so let's remedy that straight away. This is Tullylagan Pipe Band at Tullyhug Flute Parade in 2019. Superb there. That was Tully Lagan Pipe Band. Somebody was asking there, was it Cotton? Tully Lagan. What did I say? Ballylagan or Tully Lagan? Tully Lagan? It was Tully Lagan. Cottown Pipe Band. John Bell wanted to know what. No, it wasn't. Bob loves the pipes. This is his favourite tune. Is Highland Cathedral. Used to play it on the flute. We've had some wonderful renditions of Highland Cathedral over the various weeks on the show, and I'm sure there'll be more. Jason loves the way that low tension drums are louder than high tension drums. Do you know some, Jason? I totally agree. I prefer the low tension drums, and I have to say that the high tension drums disguise bad drummers, because they can make a roll sound half decent, which you can't get away with on the low tension. You know a good drummer by the rolls, absolutely. If I need to know anything, I am to ask either China or Eddie. I'm saying nothing. I am saying nothing. Absolutely nothing at all. Let's see. Where are we going to now? Let's have a look at the comments. Tony Miller's joined us evening. Looks like Scott Cunningham on the bass drum there. He was down with us flitting for a few years. James Ramsby thought they were class. Teal Sinclair thought it was beautiful. And Bob Purvis says that's how you play a bass drum. I can tell, Bob, you're a little bit of an aficionado here. You're fitting in well. Absolutely brilliant. Now, Black Skull, Orange and Blue are another one that we haven't had on that often. This is them at Killallen's Flute Bands Parade in May. I had to count through there, January, February, March, April, May. In May of 2019. And the little note here left by Lisa says that they are playing Bully McBride. Superb there, absolutely brilliant. Now, we'll maybe do the birthdays after the next tune, Roy, and give everyone a chance to. Oh, have you lined up? Listen. You sure? Right. Give everybody, in case there's any more that needs to come in, because what it always ends up happening is we play the birthdays and then we get 3 or 4 afterwards. So we're going to play the birthdays after the next tune. So get it in, okay? Let me see. Where are we at? Jonathan Courtney wants to know any County Armagh bands. I'm not even going to comment, Jonathan, because he keeps slagging me about how bad my geography is. So I could say yes, and then there might not be. But Lisa says that, yes, we've had Bestbrook on already. I'm just running my eye down here. Not sure. Don't think there is, but only want me to find out. Just watch it. Now, Drew Park wants to know, what are your thoughts on bands playing by cenotaphs? He doesn't like it. It's a difficult one, Drew. I always think that bands should absolutely lower their flags, of course, except for the Union flag, before Roy gets all het up about the Union flag again, and where it should be at the colour party. Definitely. though I have to say, I have been at parades and I have sympathy for bands who maybe don't even know where the Cenotaph is. Portrush is one that I can think of in particular, because the War Memorial is kind of, it comes along upon you very quickly. And at Portrush's parade, there's always a big crowd, so visiting bands can't always see the War Memorial. And I've heard people giving off about bands not lowering their standards there. But I can also sympathise with the bands, because sometimes if you don't know the town, it's really, really hard to know where they are.
If it's a military march or a hymn, they play going past. There's no need to stop and not play. If it's a military march, that's giving respect to the dead that way, because it's a military march. And if it's a hymn, it's also giving the respect. It's only if you're playing a Blood and Thunder tune that you should stop.
Well, you see, the thing about it is, like, I mean, you have to think of the logistics of it as well, right? So, like at a band parade, there is dozens of bands passing by the War Memorial, and you can't have every band stopping before the War Memorial to finish their tune before they walk past it. So, to be honest,
Ballymena is a prime example of it, because all the band parades used to come up to Gorham Road past the Memorial Park. Pride of the Main changed theirs, so it didn't. Ballykeel then changed theirs, so it didn't disrupt the flow, because bands were stopping.
Yeah,
and
it's to be honest, I think it's more a logistical thing than a respect thing. I get where you're coming from, Drew. However, in practice, because of the many bands there are and because of the many parades there are, which all pass war memorials, I think it's probably not practical from as many points of anything. I mean, if you take Portrush, out round the War Memorial is where the biggest crowd stand, and if every band stopped playing as they went past that there, people at the side of the road don't always have the understanding or the patience to think about why a band's not doing something, because I can remember being on parade many times, and we had literally just finished a tune and we had been playing solid for maybe 3/4 of an hour, and then we finished the tune, they go, give us a tune, like not even getting a breather in between tunes. So logistically and practically wise, I don't think it's always possible. But having said that, I know that all of the bands pay their respects so much in other ways that I know it's not through lack of respect, if that makes sense. It's not necessarily practical in parade all the time, but I just know how many bands have made pilgrimages over to the battlefields in France and Belgium, and the respect that they pay and the work that they do, in terms of Royal British Legion events, in terms of Remembrance Sundays, and, all of those kind of memorial services and all those kind of things. So I know where you're coming from. Absolutely do. The one thing I would always sort of be a bit, lower their standards. But again, you also have to think about, did they see that War Memorial at all? Do they know where it is? Are they strangers to the town? So I suppose it's like everything, a little bit of empathy and a little bit of, give them a Bible, sort of, especially if they're a strange band or whatever. Now, our next band are playing San Lorenzo, which is a fantastic march, and it is Lord Londonderry's own concert flute band playing. It doesn't tell me where they're playing at, but this is them playing San Lorenzo. So while this is on, if you have a birthday, even if it's your own birthday, okay, I don't care if it's your own birthday, tell us. So we want to give you a shout out. We want to celebrate your birthday with you, and give us a wee shout during this next tune, okay? Absolutely superb. Superbly played and a superb march. Absolutely brilliant. Couldn't ask for better than that. Bob Purvis says he's definitely fitting in well. We've got him in the Bushmills and Bailey. Bob, you are just a natural born bandsman. There are bands in England as well that you could join, if you're, just sounds like you're a perfect fit. You're fitting in there well. Absolutely. Gary TJ wants to know, have we any old sharpshooters videos? We were talking about sharpshooters earlier. We do have videos of them. They usually feature in our oldies night. So I'm sure they will be on again, but none tonight, I'm afraid. Tony wants to know, is Ballykeel on tonight? I don't believe they are, Tony. But Tony had sent me a wee video and he says, I like the video. They're really good. I haven't had a chance to see that yet. But what I have seen is the Ballyhalbert Lives Matter going across the bottom of the stage. Is that what we've descended to now? My goodness. Absolutely brilliant. Gary wants to know, have we big plans for the NI Centenary next year? Now, I know that there were tentative plans in place for the Centenary in terms of parades and all that kind of stuff. However, I don't know. I genuinely don't. I don't think anybody does really. Where are we going to be in March next year? It's unforeseen. Nobody can predict it. Are we even going to have a 12th next year?
I think we should just write 2020 off, and it's never existed. So therefore, Northern Ireland Centenary will be 2021. 2022, sorry, 2022. We'll have it then. 2022 sounds better, so I'll have a Centenary then.
I know, but 2021 is the proper year, and it's like I would almost do without the 12th next year in order to have a Centenary parade, because if we don't have a Centenary parade, certain people are going to be hard to listen to. So, Carrie, the answer is we don't know. If we ever find out that something is going on, believe us, you will be the first that we tell. Absolutely. Karen Moreland Stewarts wants to know, have we any of Cloch Orange and Blue Accordion Band? We absolutely do. We played them a couple of times on the show. We don't have any of them on tonight, I'm afraid, but we definitely have played them before, and I'm sure we'll again. Pamela wants to know, what about Armagh True Blues? Just let me scroll down the list here. No, they're not on tonight, Pamela, but they definitely have been on before. Did you play them not that long ago, Roy, I think they were played not that long ago.
No, it wasn't mine. I think it was it not. Oh, I can't remember whose it was, but I know we played them.
Not that long ago. Alistair Net says some of the judges stand at the war memorials, and as long as the colours are lower, that should be enough. Yeah, I agree. Bob said another fact about the Green Howards: the only colour party on parade in front of the Queen, never to stand at ease. Oh yes, I had to think that one through there for a minute. I get what you're saying now. Yeah, sign of respect there, absolutely. Lord Londonderry's Own were, of course, playing in Newton Arts, their hometown. And Bob loves San Lorenzo. I tell you, we just need to find you a band, Bob. That's what we have to do. Corps of drums, my dear, not band. Davy Baird is watching us. What's the weather like in Strenookham this evening? Davy, glad to have you join us. Late though you may be. Now, birthdays. We've had a few birthdays. So I want to give a big birthday shout out to Kyle Semple. That comes from your dad, Davy. And Kyle has a broken ankle, so he can't go out and celebrate his birthday. But it's okay, Kyle. Your dad and all the rest of us will celebrate for you. So don't you worry about that one. Robert Morrison has also had his birthday, and his wife Arlene's birthday is on Tuesday. Lindsay Cunningham's birthday is today, and that's coming from Caroline. Davy Semple's birthday was yesterday, as was Caroline Hughes. And Anne and Ronnie Hyman want to say happy birthday to their granddaughter Jane Cairns for her birthday. And Carol Porter, one of our very regular viewers, her birthday is next Wednesday. We'll maybe even get you on tomorrow night as well, Carol. And Aaron Cranston has just joined us. Aaron, great to have you. Watching from Canada, as always. Lovely to have you. Now, I just want to wish you all a very, very happy birthday. Hope you have had a wonderful day, or about to have a wonderful day. If your birthday isn't yet, I hope you get spoiled. I hope you get all of your best wishes. Cheers and happy birthday to you all from us here at Ulster Bands Forum. partying for your birthday, or if you're having a celebration in the house, or even if just having a cake with a single candle in it, make sure and send us a photo to the page. We love to see it. Now, one band that we haven't had on for a while, I think we maybe only had them once or twice on the show before, and it's so difficult fitting all of the bands on because there's 660 in Northern Ireland, and it's so difficult to get them all fitted in. You obviously can't get them on all in the show in the one night. I think we can cover 25 in our time here on air every night. And the next one,
or 659, depending if you have Lisburn Young Defenders on the road or not.
There's no such thing as an up-to-date total because bands fold, bands form, bands reform. You're trying to keep up with them. You would need to be doing it the 12th every year. So the next band are Movenus Rising Sons of William. And this one, I'm going to dedicate this one to a good friend of mine, Timmy Reid, who has been in the band since he was a wee nipper. And hopefully we'll soon see his son, Jamie, in the band as well. This is them on the 12th of July, 2019, playing Number One Platoon. Our Timmy on the bass drum there, and looking very red about the gills. And of course, very remiss of me to forget my sister Orange Woman, Barbara, who is in Movenus as well, playing the flute there. Should have dedicated to you as well, Sister Simpson, but hopefully you'll forgive me. Now, oh my goodness, let's go to Scotland for this next one. And we're going to go to Scotland in East Belfast on the 12th. This is 2019, and it is Black Skull Corps of Drums playing in the 12th parade here in East Belfast. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Superb there, as always, from Black Score Core of Drums. I have to say, Lisa, you're absolutely knocking it out of the park tonight with the tune choices. A little bit of noise and that there, but sometimes it can't be helped, one noise, but absolutely worth it. Brilliant to watch. Now, where are we going to next? Trevor said that was an awesome piccolo, as does Penny. Brilliant piccolo. Brilliant. William Smith says brilliant. John China says the outfit. Drew Park says Big Red, the best fluting in the skull from Glasgow. Hope my Tinder is on its way. Last I heard, Tinder was a dating app. Not sure you meant that, Drew, or at least I don't think you did. Hope you didn't. Jason Gibson says, loves the Black Skull playing Household Brigade. Absolutely fantastic rendition of it. And Stephen Feely, I think, is trying to insinuate that China is a pensioner now because he's getting free travel on public transport. Now, we're going to stay in Scotland for this next band. Again, a Scottish band here in Belfast. I have to say, the number of Scottish bands that come over to take part in the Belfast parade kind of puts the Belfast bands to shame. Why is there not enough of you to cope on your own? Why do you need the Scotch guys to come over to help you out? This is Brigton Loyalists, again playing on the 12th morning in 2019. I've just looked at the time. It's 5 to 10, and I cut down the numbers of tunes this week, and we're still running behind. I need to blether less. That's what's wrong. Plus the fact I'm out of gin, so we need to get through the next lot of tunes quickly. This is a superb silver band, Tamlet Moore Silver Band, playing on Black Saturday Morning in Cookstown in 2019. Superb. Absolutely brilliant. I hate watching these back because at the end of every band, I'm saying things like superb, amazing, brilliant, because they all are. They're all absolutely fantastic. Ken Stewart said he absolutely loved the piccolo. The piccolo was superb in A Black Skull. It certainly was. Bob says there's 3 piccolo players at the back. Great stuff. He used to love playing the piccolo. Bob, you need to get into a band. You really, really need to do. And Ken, if you enjoyed that, then that this evening, make sure you're watching tomorrow night. Tomorrow night is military bands. It's nothing but military bands and military music. It's going to be superb. I can't wait. Drew is clarifying that he didn't mean to say Tinder. He was meaning to say tenor. Davy Semple says, thank you for the shout out to my son Kyle. Forgot to mention his mum, Georgina, just trying to keep down rows. Tut, Davy. Georgina, you and I both know who did all the work in order for Kyle to exist and to be here. Do you know what I mean? Isn't it so annoying that you go through all of that pain and suffering and then they come out looking like their dad? It's so annoying. But it's okay. Every time Mason, I'm sure you do this with Kyle, every time Mason starts to annoy me, I say, just remember, I made you. I get the typical teenager roll of the eyes. Oh, God, mama. They're terrible. Eddie says Ballyhalbert are Scottish. You are trying it all. You really, really are. Alistair, Annette was enjoying the back sticking there of Brigton loyalists. And Billy McDonald quite rightly says, look how many Northern Ireland bands help the Scots out at their parade. Let me see. Thanks, Lisa, for another great night of bands. Also, thanks to Valerie and Roy. Stay safe out there. And that is from John Hewitt. He's going to see us all tomorrow night. And let's move on to our next band. The next band is Some Memorial, and they are playing in their hometown of Bangor here. And it's 2020. And let's have a little listen. Lovely. Absolutely lovely.
Neil getting very creative with his editing there.
You missed two cameras on
He's
that
got
one. Very
the
cool.
mobile phone going along, and he's getting really creative and judging in between the two.
Now, I couldn't tell. The only thing that ever annoys me with things like that there is if the music goes out of sync with the image. But because I've got a delay between what I hear and what I see, I can't tell if you
There
did
was
that.
no delay in the sync. The
Oh,
syncing
wonderful.
was absolutely
Oh.
perfect.
Well done, Neil.
That picture is now on screen.
Is it? Okay. We had one of our regular visitors is over in Londonderry this weekend, and he's watching us in the British Legion there in Londonderry, along with Mr. Ramsey, who is also watching up there with him. Hope you're enjoying your pints. Have a few for me. That's all I can say. Alistair was saying there that if all goes well next year, the Saw Memorial Band are heading over to France for the 100th anniversary of the opening of the Ulster Tower on the 19th of November. Oh, Carl had emailed me the other week there to say about, get my name down for it because they needed to know names and numbers. And I'm so tempted. I am so tempted. And that's swung up for me. That is maybe swung for me. I'll have to see. If I can go over. Penny says, great tunes, Lisa. I like your taste in music. It'll make my evening if you'd play Blaze Away. Let's see, where are we going to now? Our next band up, we've only got 4 more bands to play. So our next band up are Whitewell Defenders at their own parade in 2015. And the name that Lisa's told me of this tune is just quite simply The Jigs. Brilliant. Oh, loved it. Now, our last accordion band of the night. I don't know how to stick with us. We've only got a couple more left. I don't know how we always manage it. I cut down the numbers tonight. I think I just talk too much. Roy talks too much. That's what it is. Roy just talks too much. Less talk on Roy from now on. This is Harbour Star Accordion playing at Parkinson Accordions Indoor in 2020. So it must have been the beginning of this year. Super there from Harbour Star. Although your doll the doll at the back there must be going to a wedding after that. She's well dressed for playing a band indoor. That's all.
That's the second clip we've played from that night, and it's just I've recognised her with that. But she's really exuberant with the accordion as well. How far out she pulls it. Just like way out, nearly hitting the floor with it.
But she had fake nails on. Like, you don't play an accordion with fake long nails on. Doesn't work. So one of our final bands this evening is Tamnotmore Flute Band. This is them playing that, I love this tune, the Old Orange Flute, or the Owl Orange Flute, in Derry, Londonderry, in 2014, Derry Day. Haven't done that for ages. New things were going to mail. That's Tamnamore Dungannon, Lisa. Denise said. Is that not what I said? I said they were in Londonderry? Derry Day? I don't know. Can't remember what I said 2 minutes ago. Now, next up for us are Pride of the Shore. And this is them playing at Clough-Fern Young Conquerors Battle of the Bands in 2020. two fantastic young wee drummers in there for Pride of the Shore. That drum corps future is fairly secure. David Perry says, thanks for a good show. Unfortunately, I missed tomorrow night as I'm working till 9:30. Eddie is thanking us for a great clip, but will be better with a wee clip of the Low Country Finest. I also saw earlier on that Kenny said it will be another good night, another great night, but more accordion. So, Lisa, it looks like all of your clips have been a hit tonight. Davy Logan says, fantastic selection of playing bands, or great playing plans. Garline Hughes is another great night. Absolutely fantastic selection of clips there from Lisa, as I expected. So don't forget to join us tomorrow night. We are going to have a military bands night. I can't promise many accordion bands. It's about the only genre tomorrow night that I can't promise many of. But I'll be doing my best to find something that we can put in there for accordion bands. Even if I go to some of the German accordion orchestras, I'm sure you'll forgive me. We have to have some accordion in there somewhere. But in the meantime, we're going to finish off tonight. So don't forget to join us. Thanks to Lisa for picking all the clips. Thanks to Roy for joining as always and not being huffing tonight. And this is our last clip of the night. This band has at various stages over this evening been Scottish. I think at one stage it was a military band. I think it was an accordion band at one point in time, but we'll just keep them as they are. What do you say, Eddie? Will we just keep them the way they are? We're going to finish off with Bally Halbert. You wore her down. You absolutely wore her down. See you all tomorrow night, folks. And in the meantime, keep the flits to the music because we're coming to the tune.
It was when England's glorious sun in 1688 was overcast with treason's cloud and popery stood elate. that up arose her Protestants, the peasant and the peer, and vowed the chain of perjure, James, that they would not dainty wear. They sought them out a prudent chief to guide their ardent zeal, to lead them on that victory might bless their flashing steel. And who so fit to guide that host in all its bright array as William, Prince of Orange, ere he landed at Torbay? Then up arose the mighty chief and left his native shore, and rode upon the stormy waves our freedom to restore. Upon his flag was blazoned forth, high fluttering o'er the main, that our religion and our laws he ever would maintain. 'Twas then in gallant style he stood upon the vessel's prow, with victory on his flashing sword and wisdom on his brow. And tens of thousands greeted him upon his natal day, when he, our glorious Orange chief, first landed at Torbay. Come, brethren of the Orange bond, a bond ne'er to be riven. Whene'er we give great William's name, a bumper must be given. For if you'd fire a feu de joie to him who victory won, come prime and load and see you get charge into your gun. The eloquence of bumpers full, there's nothing can surpass. There's not expresses kindred soul like friendship's social glass. And thus we give our song and toast with 3 times 3 huzzah, the memory of King William and his landing at Torbay. The memory of King William and his landing at Torbay.